All right. Hey guys, I'm here with Candice, our overall Fit Model Masters and Open winner. And gosh, you won pretty much darn everything at that show. I think there probably wasn't an award in that category, Fit Model, that you didn't win. Um, tell us about when we first did our podcast, it was with the plan to compete. And now that you've competed and now that you've realized I've got the validation, I've got the go ahead. I fit the criteria because there were some things we were worried about a little bit like shoulder density. Now we've seen the first USA champ or universe championships where we saw a few Masters Pro cards awarded. Um, I think you have it, and we thought you did from the beginning. We knew we'd be pushing the size a bit, but I'm really excited. Tell me how this all feels now to see it all come together.
Oh, it feels amazing. Yeah, because you're right. We went into it. Well, you may have thought that I fit the criteria, but I still was not so sure. I just put all my trust in you and just did what you told me to do. But yeah, I think in the master's divisions, you're going to see that denser muscle just because we have more mature muscle, especially if we've been in the game for a few years. And so being able to speak with the pro head judge afterwards, when he told me that fit model is my category, is my division, that's what solidified it for me because I was like, okay, well, if he's a pro head judge, he knows exactly what he's looking for. And if he's saying this is my division, then I'm going to just trust that at the national level. And he said that I should go for it.
Absolutely. I love that. And getting the judges, validation and green light is definitely huge. A few other things I think about too is, when we had stepped off stage from our national season in bikini, and I've had this happen with a lot of girls, they're like, I know I could be a little bit bigger if I decided to embark in PEDs, and I know that that's something you never wanted to do. How good does it feel to be a division that you are, you're maybe pushing the envelope on muscularity a little bit, and knowing that you'll probably never have to do that. And one, it was probably never an option for you just holistically and mentally, just not something you want to do. How does it feel to kind of not have a glass ceiling per se to your category?
Yeah, no, I love this new division. Absolutely love it because you're right. At 45 years old, I am a master's competitor. Hormone and having that balance is very important to me. Staying natural is very important to me. And so, knowing that we have designed, or you have designed, a strength training program that allows me to have the rest to help with the cortisol and the adrenal gland function and things like that that we had to worry about when I competed in bikini, knowing that I can have the rest that I need and we have a plan going forward of how I can better fit the fit model criteria, and that it's not going to take jumping into a realm that I'm not comfortable with, knowing that the strength training, the way that we have had it structured, is doable for my life because I homeschool my daughter. And so she's with me 24/7. And so trying to find the time to do the cardio and the strength training, I haven't had to do as much cardio as I did last time. I haven't had to dig so deep into my calorie restrictions that I'm no good to anybody. Like I'm actually being able to be a functional mother and be an ER nurse and do my pageant coaching and do my strength training and fitness consultations and teaching at the gym. And so I'm able to live life to the fullest and feel my absolute best.
Absolutely. And it's not that you're not willing to push. That's always the biggest thing that I tell people. But this lifestyle is difficult. It definitely pushes you, but it's a little bit different than, what we're used to experiencing with those who have embarked in the bikini prep journey. And every prep will be different. Some preps you may need to do a little bit more cardio than others. But I think part of, why we took a little bit of a break off season was, a lot of, reasons of COVID and job transition and stuff like that. But part of me also thinks that you did feel that glass ceiling with bikini a little bit too.
Yeah.
So when
I didn't
Fit
want to
Model,
get that big either.
yeah, so when Fit Model came out, I saw that really sparked your interest, and we had kind of started messaging, and I'm definitely so excited. Um, One, not just because you won, but just because, you're very much a role model to your daughter and your whole family, doing everything it is that you do. I appreciate your time getting in on this podcast after a 12-hour day at work. But with all the awards you won, there was one that was very special. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it was called the Focus Award, and I did the Body Be One Classic in Montgomery, Alabama, and they had this award where when we came for registration, they asked for us to fill out basically an essay talking about what has this bodybuilding prep meant to you, what has made it unique, what inspires you, motivates you, and just tell us about your journey. And my inspiration, my motivation is my daughter. She is 8 years old. Her name is Logan. She has spina bifida, so she's paralyzed from the waist down. She uses a manual wheelchair. And so we're constantly focusing on strength and health because that's going to help her in her life and transferring and being independent. And so knowing that she, she, oh, I'm in awe of this girl. It takes her so much time and effort and so much strength to do things that normal people just take for granted. Just the mundane things. It takes a lot of effort. And seeing her work through that with joy and with a smile and with determination, I knew seeing her do things like that, I could do hard things too. And what I love is that we actually got to do this together. So whenever I'm working my upper body, she'll come out onto the gym floor. We'll work biceps, triceps, shoulders, back, and she loves it. So it's a good bonding opportunity for us. And it's also pouring into her health. And so this Focus Award was something that they did for this competition. It was the first award that they gave out. And so when I won it, I mean, I was like, this makes my heart full. If I don't win anything else at this competition, this was the most meaningful because it's who I am as a person. And it's rewarding all of the hard work and effort that I give not only to bodybuilding, but also as a mother.
That's so cool. I thought it was so neat that they gave that out. It's like a WWF like championship belt. It's
Yes.
really cool. Out of all the awards my clients have won, that might be the coolest. I had powerlifter win a belt like that too, and I think to this day it's still one of my favorites as well, along with yours. But the meaning behind it, I think, is so cool. When we think about how we procrastinate sometimes on a daily basis, like if we were to, put ourselves in Logan's shoes, we might not have the time to procrastinate, and it's really something to think about. And just, you know, all the things that people go through. Sometimes when we're having a bad day, it's not like a fraction of what maybe someone else is dealing with. And it's amazing to see people like your daughter, face the day with a smile. And I love seeing all of her updates. It looks like she went from a hognose snake to now a bearded dragon.
She's a
Um,
reptile lover. She loves it. Yes. So she does have the bearded dragon now. Her name is Bella. She's like 4 months old and so precious. And we're almost got my husband on board. He actually held her today. And I was like, I'm so proud of you.
That's so cool. So all the things that go behind the scenes with being a mom and, being as active in Logan's life as you and your husband both are, it's really amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now that we've done the regional show and it went splendidly well, what is next for us?
Well, I want to go after my pro card. That because I wasn't sure. It all depended on what the judges' feedback was and how well I did at the regional show. And I'm a little bit of enigma as far as a competitor because I work weekends. I work every weekend because that allows me to be with my daughter Monday through Friday doing her homeschooling. And so I don't have a lot of weekends that I can take off in order to hone my craft, in order to get better and have more stage time. And so we pretty much have to be a one hit wonder. When we go on stage, like this is it, this is determines what my next step will be. And so that's why I went out for as many categories as because I wanted to see where did I fit and how did I do in that. And so when I got my feedback and he said, literally, don't change anything, just come in a little later because we want to see more of the tie ins. I can do that. Like, I want to do the North American Championships. And so that's at the end of August. We've got 7 or 8 weeks to prepare. I'm like, I can drop another few pounds and be good to go. And I really feel like that is an attainable goal for us. And so I want to go for it because we've been prepping for 6 months. Let's just tack on another 2 months and let's do it.
I like that when we were initially choosing too, we gave you a little bit more time for this show. I'm really glad we did. And also, which actually gave you more competition. I think had we done that earlier show, it might have been just you. I can't remember, but I thought I glanced at that show and it didn't look very competitive. But you had a competitive, like there was a very competitive group of women in your class, and they should honestly all be going to nationals, frankly. So we came out on top, but I was really glad that we kind of skipped Masters Nationals and going into North Americans, which hence has the Masters classes as well. But that does give us more time. We were able to take a little bit of a diet break for a week after, which is nice. And then we decided we're going to get back in the grind, get the glutes in a little bit tighter, and then bring things up into the show, which is exactly how we like to do things, really reach that maximal recovery. um One of the reasons I wanted to do this is it's going to give us a buffer for your midsection in case we have any kind of hormonal changes during the week. But also, if we're ready earlier, it gives us a little bit more peak week stability, which is something that we kind of lost on show day, as the night show progressed. But your body is going to be a lot more stable when we have intake up longer for a longer period of time. So I'm really excited to have that to bank on because at a national show, it's really nice to like try to shoot for that overall title if you get the chance.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure how that worked, but because I think doesn't North Americans Championships don't they give pro cards at the masters level?
They do. So
Okay,
they should give it per class, to
per
my
class.
understanding.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you want me to do the open?
So I think what we'll do is we'll do your master's classes, and that's probably it. I
Okay.
probably won't have you do the open. I usually say crossover. I'll sometimes tell people different things, but I think it's nice to cross over down one sometimes if you can. So, because then you can edge out other people in maybe a different class. If maybe, let's say, someone beat you in your class, but they didn't cross over in the 45, you may be up against the same people and minus that one person who beat you in the other class. So,
That makes sense. I'm just glad that I've got you to do all the planning for me. Whatever you think, that's what I'll do.
that's awesome. I'll be at Masters Nationals, so that'll be great. So I'll get to kind of preview who may be coming regionally. At that point, it'll only be 6 weeks away or 5 weeks away. North Americans will be coming back around. And then my plan is obviously to be there for North Americans too. So we'll have a small group of you guys. Hopefully, a few of the ones get their pro cards at Masters and they don't have to do North Americans is the goal. But I've had so many girls who are like really close in bikini fit model this year already. So it could be I tell people stay prepared for a very long season just in case, if they're really wanting to go after that pro card. But like you said, this is kind of a one and done for us because, time is of the essence and not some people don't have the luxury, based on their schedules to do multiple shows.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really glad that we're going to be able to do North Americans because I had such a great time with all of our teammates that were there when I did compete in bikini. I know the venue, I know the hotel. it's very well run. It was very professional. I loved everything about it. And so I'm excited about going back because I don't have any nerves about what to expect when I get there because I've already done it. And so it feels really comfortable for me to be able to do this national show.
It's nice. It's literally the same exact place. They've done some renovations. The hotel's even nicer than it was than before.
Sweet.
So, what's one of the biggest things you're looking forward to with doing your first national show in Fit Model?
The, the thing I'm looking the most forward to,
Yeah,
winning. I want to win. I want to
I
get
love
that
that.
pro card. I want to show that, that I really hope that my physique is what they're looking for because I want Fit Model to show that muscle and show people that are watching in the audience that they can be impressed by what is being presented on stage and something that is attainable for people that maybe they don't have to go into the realm of PEDs or anything like that, that this is the body type that they want. And I hope that inspires other people to be able to get on that same stage and be able to put themselves out there, do the work, and know that they can also do hard things.
Absolutely. I think that's great. And I think you're the perfect person to share that with people. Um, I always tell people like it's great if you do stuff with your pro card, but at the same time, just getting it and is just such a big accomplishment. And I know there's bodybuilders who say there's like too many pro cards, but I don't think there is because when you see some of these pro shows, you don't see too many people competing in the pro shows. So, if we give out less pro cards, those numbers are going to go down and participation's not going to be as great. So, I really think the promoters and everybody have this figured out and they're running a really great ship with everything. So, I'm excited to see more Fit Model Pros join. Universe was definitely super exciting. And I do think the girls are getting a little bit more muscular as we go throughout the year. So that's kind of been neat to see. And I think that's going to be in our advantage when, North Americans comes around.
I agree.
So, is there anything else you wanted to add to the podcast before we go?
Well, I love your coaching style because you really focus on the health of an athlete and you want to make sure not only are you healthy physically, but how are you feeling mentally, And I loved, even though you had so many competitors on my show day here in Alabama, you were off at national show dealing with a lot of other athletes and you still took the time to call me and we spoke for like 15 minutes and you just really wanted to delve into because we were dealing with a lot with my my menstrual cycle happening and we were trying to mitigate that. And then I woke up on show day with GI issues. And so there's a lot of stuff that you had to pay attention to and try to time. And now I don't know about other pro shows, but there were 75 at my show because it was a pro show and an amateur show. And so there were 75. And so it started at 9. I didn't go on stage till 12:30. So that was a little, timing nightmare on my end. Cause I'm like, I don't know when to show them all these pictures and check in and stuff, but you just make it so easy. And I really appreciate that. I think that's what set now, from what I've heard from other competitors, I feel like that's what sets you apart because you give each and every one of your athletes such personalized coaching that we feel like we're your only athlete. And I so appreciate that.
One thing that I've done different this year that I think has made my coaching better from afar is I actually schedule your meal times in my calendar just for instance if I don't hear from you,
Hmm.
I reach out and that just makes sure nobody goes missing. But one of the reasons I've really had to do that more often is because I was in a time change from myself to then you having a time change from where I was at. So it just comes down to organization because I think most of my clients know the care is always there. That's never a doubt. but having that extra edge of organization has been really key for me. And the technology has been, really amazing to be able to do that as well. I know, my coaching is a little bit different through text now, where before it is a little bit different. And I had a team like build the software for me, and I can't imagine going back to how I was doing it, even though clients told me it was great then. Now it's even better. So, no, I appreciate you noticing that and bringing up the GI distress. That was one of the reasons I didn't want to go into too much detail, but since you did, it was one of the reasons we had a harder time kind of landing the plane on your nighttime physique, because we had to really just make sure we kept water inside of you and kept you, tight, because we could definitely see. I'm not sure if you noticed it, but your abs were either in or they were just fading a little bit. And a lot of that was due to some of the issues you were dealing with that day that just kind of came out of the blue.
Yes, yes, I have no idea. I didn't do anything out of the ordinary. So, and these things happen, and it was a God thing. I still won. I still got the overall. So, it all worked out in the end. But yeah, it was a little sketchy there for a while. I wasn't sure how things were going to play out, but it did. It worked all out.
In my long amount of coaching, I feel like I've only had that happen about 4 or 5 times. But one girl at North Americans had that happen and got her pro card. So,
There you go. There
yeah,
you go. Maybe it was my good luck charm. I don't know. I don't want it to happen again. Please, God, don't let
same,
it happen
same.
again.
But that's awesome. I'm glad that you love the coaching style. We definitely mesh well, and I'm so excited to be on this journey with you, and gearing up for nationals with you.
Yes, let's do it, coach.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for joining, and definitely keep following Candace's journey. Hopefully, we'll be doing another one of these soon in the next few weeks, and we will see you later, leaner.